Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning to everyone. Hope everyone had a good rest and good pondering about all the discussions we had yesterday. I would like request for everyone to come forward so that we can have a more mesra engagement. Because perhaps on the second day, usually not so many people. So please bring yourself as close as you can to our speakers. You'll get a good glimpse of them and get more barakah, inshallah. Assalamualaikum. Our speakers will be arriving shortly, so please prepare yourself to have everyone inside the auditorium. Just a short announcement of some differences that we have today. We will finish our program around 5:30 p.m. instead of 5 p.m. We have another speaker, Sheikh Dr. Jamal Farouk Jibril Mahmoud Al-Daqqaq, will be giving a special lecture at 2 p.m. Our lunch break will be at 12:30 and finishing at 2. And then we will have that special lecture from 2 to 3:30, followed by our panel discussion, 3:30 to 5. And then we will have concluding remarks at 5 to 5:30. So you may check your program book and make any necessary changes. announcing the arrival of our shuyukh. Welcome, Sheikh. Ahlan wa sahlan. Good morning to you. Assalamu alaikum. Welcome, Sheikh. Marhaban. Assalamu alaikum. We welcome all our shuyukh. Professor Basil Al-Ta'i, welcome. Good morning. Assalamu alaikum. Okay, everyone, we are going to begin our program for today. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. As-salatu wassalamu ala Rasulillah wa ala alihi wa ashabihi ajma'in. If you allow me, I will begin with a few lines of poetry as we have our qasida yesterday. So some poetry recital that reminds us of our existence and the kind of signs Allah give us to point to our existence by our scholar Al-Jami' from his Al-Asrar wal-Manba' al-Anwar. فالبحر بحر على ما كان في القدام أن الحوادث أمواج وأنهار لا يحجبنك أشكال تشاكلها أمن تشكل فيها فهي أسطار. I hope I read it correctly. I'll see the shuyukh after this for some correction, inshallah. And the Malay translation by this poetry by our own Jawi or Malay poet Mutakallimun, Imam Al-Raniri. Maka laut itu laut juga atas barang hal sadaya adanya. Maka bahawasanya yang baharu itu segala ombak dan sungai jua. Sanya jangan meninding di kau segala rupa yang berupa. Adalah sekalian yang itu hijab jua adanya. The translation for this is provided by our own theologian, Professor Said Muhammad Naqib Al-Attas, in English. The sea is the sea as it was before. The new are waves and rivers. Let not forms that resemble them veil thee, for the shapes they are but veils. To elucidate more on how we look at the signs of God in knowing about our own existence and our universe, allow me to finish two more of poetry from Jami' Lawa'ih. The ocean does not shrink or vaster grow, though the waves ever ebb and ever flow. The being of the world is a wave, it lasts one moment, and the next it has to go. In the world, men of insight may discern a stream whose currents swirl and surge and churn. And from the force that works within the stream, the hidden working of the truth may learn. So we may have insight into how Kalam is presented in all forms, as we have learned yesterday about cosmology and the Kalam principles, from our scholars explaining the meaning of nazar, to eschatology, all areas that we have in the past and today. And we continue this in our second discussion today in our Kliks 3. Today we will shift our focus away from the principles of Kalam and its impact in the natural sciences to that of the Quranic sciences, Hadith studies, and jurisprudence. Let us welcome our first keynote address for today by Sheikh Dr. Khalid Zahri, who will be presenting on Ilm al-Kalam and its relationship to Ilm al-Tafsir and al-Hadith, a new approach based on the field of codicology. Tafaddal Sheikh, while I read your biography. Dr. Khalid Zahri is Assistant Director, Curator, and Researcher for the manuscript collection of the Hassaniya Royal Library in Morocco. He travels widely to share his expertise in manuscript preservation and publication of glosses and commentaries. He has presented lectures and facilitated workshops across the Arab world, Southeast Asia, and Western Europe. He is an established expert in Muslim theology, Kalam, Sufism, and the methodology of Islamic law, Usul Fiqh. He has published close to 100 academic works in Arabic and French on a range of topics, including Kalam, Usul Fiqh, Tasawwuf, bibliography, cataloging, Fahrasah, and codicological and philological studies. Among them, more than 20 books, including Maghribi Ash-Sha'ari sources, from Ilm al-Kalam to Fiqh al-Kalam, the Arabic manuscript, New Horizons in codicology, philology, and cataloging within the Islamic manuscript tradition. He received his master's and his PhD from Muhammed VII University in Rabat at the Faculty of Arts and Sciences. He has worked at the Hassaniya Royal Library from 2002 to the present, and at the National Library in years prior to that. تفضل.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والصلاة والسلام على النبي الكريم وعلى آله الطيبين الطاهرين وصحبه أجمعين. رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقه قولي. I would first like to express my thanks, gratitude, and best wishes to all the organizers of this symposium for their generous invitation to me and all our colleagues, and for all the efforts they have made, in particular, Professor Amran Muhammed, Professor Sohail Nakhooda, and Professor Muhammed Abdel-Qayyum in realizing this international meeting of good faith. I'm very happy to be here with you all, sharing in the atmosphere here in Malaysia of scientific research and traditional Islamic thinking. In my paper today, I will be discuss the subject of Ilm al-Kalam and its relationship to Ilm al-Tafsir and al-Hadith, and introduce you all an approach that places an emphasis and benefits from the field of codicological research. I will divide my presentation into 3 sections. Section 1, preliminary issues, concentrating on Mushkil al-Quran wal-Hadith. Section 2, theological diagrams. Section 3, imaginative artistic portrayals concentrating on the eschatology, مبحث السمعيات. Section 1, preliminary issues. Point 1, I say that my paper is based on codicology research. So, first of all, I would like to clarify the term codicology. Codicology is the study of manuscripts as physical objects concentrating on materials such as paper, parchment, ink, colors, decorations, leather, leaf life, marginalia, glosses, binding, etc. This field can be very important. Can be very important for the research to collect very important informations in the field of history and even in theology. For instance, amen. For instance, this manuscript copy of the famous book entitled Al-Mu'tamad fi Usul al-Fiqh, composed by the famous author Abu al-Hussein al-Basri al-Mu'tazili. This copy of this book is the oldest manuscript copy in the world. It is kept at Royal Library in Rabat. I say that it is the oldest copy, as it is written in 625 Hijri. Even though this book is an Islamic work, the binding of this copy includes central medallion, and inside this central medallion, you may notice Christian symbol, the cross, Ramzu, as-Salib, and at the top and bottom the picture of church, Suratun lil Kanisa. You can see it when we zoom on it. You can see it clearly. Amen. The next. You see the cross and the picture of the picture of the church. This codicological element confirm an atmosphere, the existence of an atmosphere of religious tolerance in Islamic world of its time. Point 2. In this section, I will be raising the question of the main question I will be raising in the first section is Mushkil al-Quran wal-Hadith, an issue that concentrates on the key question of as-Sifat as-Sam'iyah, known also as as-Sifat al-Khabariyah. الصفات السمعية, known also as الصفات الخبرية. Several great number of books are composed separately, are specified separately this question in some very important books by the scholars of the field. For example, Ibn Furak in his famous book Bayan Mushkil al-Quran, published by Daniel Jimari. Ta'wil Abu Abdullah Muhammed bin Yusuf al-Sanusi in his book entitled Ta'wil Mushkilati al-Bukhari, published, edited by Nizar Hamadi in Tunisia. And تنبيه الأنام في بيان مشكل حديث النبي عليه الصلاة والسلام, composed by عبد الجليل القصري الأندلسي, published in Cairo. Point 3. A great number of this important topic of Mushkil al-Quran wal Hadith are still in manuscript form only and have not edited or published. Among these missing works, I can mention an important book entitled كتاب الدرة الوسطى في بيان مشكل حديث الموطأ composed by Ibn al-Ilbiri al-Andalusi, yes, and by Ibn al-Ilbiri al-Andalusi. This book is the first theological commentaries on Kitab al-Muwatta of al-Imam al-Malik, in which Ibn al-Ilbiri answers 150 mushkil of hadith, and there is one manuscript copy kept at British Museum in London, and it is the fly leaf of this copy, and it is the beginning of the copy. Point 4. Some works on the question of mushkil al-Quran wal hadith have discussed only one mushkil. For instance, كتاب في الكلام على حديث السبحات والحجاب لأبي بكر of Abu Bakr bin al-Arabi al-Ma'arifi. This book is still in manuscript form, and one copy is kept at National Library in Algeria. This slide is taken from this book, from this copy kept at National Library in Algeria. Point 6. Unfortunately, several important books on the question of mushkil al-Quran wal hadith have been lost, but fortunately we have records of their existence in some biographical and hagiographical works يوجد لها ذكر في كتب الترجمات والمناقب, such as مختصر مشكل القرآن لابن فورك, composed by عبد الله الأقليشي, known also as Ibn al-Wahshi, mentioned in Kitab al-Silah of Ibn Pashkuwal, كتاب مشكل القرآن والحديث and الأحاديث المشكلة, composed by Abu Bakr bin al-Arabi al-Ma'afiri and mentioned by himself in several of his books, such as أحكام القرآن, عارضة الأحودي, العواصم من القواسم, قانون التأويل, سراج المريدين, الكتاب المتوسط, etc. Point 6. Among the very important codicological elements, miscellaneous notes. This field, as I said, can be a very important field for the researchers and the scholars to collect some very important historical and even theological information. For example, these miscellaneous notes housed in the recto of the first paper of copy manuscripts of Kitab of Sharh al-Jalal al-Mahalli ala Taj Din al-Subki. And the most important of these miscellaneous notes is the fragment on the bottom, which is unknown until now, and I discovered it in this manuscript. It is منظومة في بيان صفات الاستغناء والافتقار versified by أحمد by ابن أحمد اليماني. Section 2. Theological diagrams. Among the miscellaneous notes, I have discovered this theological fragment, housed in the verso of a manuscript group kept at Royal Library in Rabat. This fragment is taken from Kitab Abkaru al-Afkar of Saifuddin al-Amidi, which divided al-Idrakat al-Khamsa, the 5 perceptions, called also as al-Khiwa al-Batina, inner powers. Saifuddin al-Amidi divided them into 5 concepts. Al-Hissu al-Mushtarak. And as he said, وهي مرتبة في التجويف الأول من الدماغ ووظيفتها إدراك الصور المنطبعة في الحواس الظاهرة. It preserves the images acquired by physical senses. The second power, القوة الثانية المصورة، وهي مرتبة في مؤخر التجويف الأول من الدماغ ووظيفتها حفظ الصور المكتسبة بالحس المشترك. It preserves the images acquired by الحس المشترك. The third concept المتخيلة، وهي مرتبة في التجويف الأوسط من الدماغ ووظيفتها حفظ الصور المكتسبة بالمصورة، وهي التي تميز بين المتفق منها والمختلف. It distinguishes between the similar and different things. الوهمية ووظيفتها حفظ صور المتخيلة وتميز بين المعاني المعقولة والمحسوسات. It distinguishes between the abstract and the concrete things. The genius, the creative genius of the scribe, who is unknown, led him to design and draw this diagram. It is the form of the brain, and he divided it into 3 parts. The first part on the bottom includes the first and the second idrak. The middle part includes the third and the fourth idrak, and the last part includes the last idrak. This diagram can also understood as the explanation of the human perception, al-idrak al-insani, mentioned in the Quranic verse لا تدركه الأبصار وهو يدرك الأبصار. لا تدركه الأبصار means al-idrak al-insani, the human perception, as opposite to وهو يدرك al-abshar means al-idrak al-ilahi, the divine perception. Section 3, artistic, imaginative artistic portrayals. This slide is taken from a manuscript copy of Al-Mushaf Al-Sharif. It is written by a famous scholar and Sufi Maghribi called Muhammed bin Qasim Al-Qundusi. This perfect copy of Mushaf Al-Sharif consists of 12 volumes. But the genius, the creative genius of this scholar and also the scribe is manifest by the interaction between the Arabic characters and the pictures. For example, first of all, I have to show that this copy is written by Al-Khat Al-Maghribi Al-Mabsut, Al-Khat Al-Maghribi style. It is written in Khat Maghribi style. I mean an extended Maghribi, an extended style, and this style was used specially for writing Al-Quran because it facilitates the memorization of Quran. This style transforms words into pictures. As you know, images lodge easily in our minds as opposite to words only that can be easily forgotten. I say that the genius, the creative genius of this scribe, this scholar, is in the interaction between the Arabic characters and the pictures. For example, in the last line, وَكَانَ اللَّهُ, the holy word, Ism al-Jalala, Allah. When we zoom in on it, the second, when you zoom in on it, we may notice that this word, Allah, takes on the form of the mosque, which can also refer to Quranic verse في بيوت أذن الله أن ترفع ويذكر فيها اسمه. As buyut, the meaning of buyut is buyutullah, mosques, and يذكر فيها اسم الله, the meaning of ذكر اسم الله is كلمة التوحيد, لا إله إلا الله. Another example. The Arabic word Nuh in the third line. When we zoom in on it, we can notice that the Arabic character ha, takes the form of sheep and includes the word an-nabi'in, which may refer to the Noah's Ark, and also can refer to Safinat al-Tawheed or Safinat al-Najat, Safinat al-Najat that takes believers from Dhulumat al-Kufr to Nur al-Tawheed. Another example. When in the first line, the Arabic word يجحد, when we zoom in on it, this Arabic word consists of four characters, four letters. Ya, jim, ha, dal. But you can notice that these four characters takes on the forms of snakes. The 4 snakes are biting each other's tails, and the 4th snake takes on the attack position, which can also refer to the punishment of al-juhudu bil-imani billah, the denial of the faith in God. Another example. The second line, ba'atha. The Arabic word ba'atha. Harf al-ayn in the middle of al-ba'atha. When we zoom on it, you can easily and clearly notice that harf al-ayn takes the form of water jet. When we take into consideration that the scribe is a Sufi and also a spiritual leader, we can understood that this form refer to what it is called in the Sufi field Ainu al-Tawheed, and also mentioned in الصلاة المشيشية. وأغرقني في عين بحر الوحدة حتى لا أرى ولا أسمع إلى آخره. And after this slide is taken from a book entitled ذخيرة المحتاج في الصلاة على صاحب اللواء والتاج, composed by Muhammed al-Mu'ta bin Muhammad al-Salih al-Sharqi in 12th century Hijri. This massive encyclopedia consists of this book. The topic of this book is the prayer blessing the Prophet Muhammad, Kitab fi salawati ala Rasulillah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. It consists into 80 volumes, but unfortunately 24 volumes have been lost. And each volume bears its own title, starting by the word Sifr. For example, Sifr أهوال يوم القيامة, Sifr شجرة التوحيد, Sifr الزيارات, Sifr صفة قلب النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم, etc. This scholar, this Sufi and scholar, in fact, his brilliance in regard of visual imagery led him to utilize 3 means to connect with his reader. The first mean, using words like other writers. The second mean, using colors. As he was a mystic, as he was a Sufi, he utilized colors in virtue of his spiritual states. I mean, when he was in a state of contraction, he used dark colors. For example, such as black, dark red, dark green, etc. For instance, this slide. But when he was in a relaxed station, in an expansive state, he used light colors. For example, white, yellow, orange, light red, etc. The third way to connect with the reader is using pictures, using images. For example, after. Yes. In fact, this scholar utilized pictures for several intentions. I will share with you only 3 intentions. The fourth intention is to make abstract concepts to tangible concepts. In other words, to transform metaphysical ideas to physical things. For example, he invented these pictures and called it Shajaratu al-Tawheed, the tree of divine unity, or the tree of the oneness of God. Another example, which can be before not. This, the Shajarat al-Tawheed. This artistic image can also be understood as an explanation of the Quranic verse ألم تر كيف ضرب الله مثلا كلمة طيبة كشجرة طيبة أصلها ثابت وفرعها في السماء. Goodly word is like a goodly tree, which is deeply rooted and its branches reach toward heaven. After, amen. Another examples of the first intention. For example, on the right, you can, this image represent the throne, and on the left, this image represents al-kursi, foot stool. Another example of the first intention. Shajarat Tawba. This is an example of the first intention, Shajarat Tawba. And this is an example of the first intention also, and it is the imagine of paradise, and an image of a paradise, Suratu al-Jannah. As you notice, inside it there are the image of what? Of Shajarat al-Tawheed, which can be understood as the explanation of the hadith saying أطول شجرة في الجنة الكلمة الطيبة. The highest tree in paradise is the goodly tree. Another example. On the left, we can see the levels of Jahannam, the levels of hellfire, as-Sa'ir, Saqar, al-Jahim, etc. And on the left, you can see the valleys of Jahannam, Wadi al-Wayl, Wadi al-Lamlam, etc. And all these pictures are the explanation of the eschatology in Quran al-Karim. عبارة عن شرح وتفسير لمبحث السمعيات كما هو وارد في الكتاب والسنة. Another. The second intention of Muhammed al-Mu'ta al-Sharqawi is to make concrete things into abstract concepts. For example, in a volume of Dhakhirat al-Muhtaj, he emphasized the holy hadith, al-hadith al-Qudsi, saying, لم تسعني أرضي ولا سمائي ولكن وسعني قلب عبدي المؤمن. My sky and my earth cannot contain me, but the heart of my worshipper, servant, contains me. And he give a commentary on this hadith. On the top you can see the hadith Nabawi, and the commentary by this artistic image is like this, and the circle, and inside the circle there is two small circles, and the circle below includes three concepts: al-qalb, al-unuq, al-qafa, al-qalb wa al-mu'min. Neck, the neck, heart, and between the two concepts, believer, al-mu'min. Another example of commentary on the aforementioned hadith, you see here on the left and also on the right, and the two forms are under the hadith. Another example of this intention is Makkah al-Mukarramah. But first of all, I would to clarify that Makkah al-Mukarramah is manifested in Islamic patrimony in three ways: juridically, spiritually or mystically, and theologically. Juridically, in order to teach how to practice Sha'irat al-Tawaf. For example, the copy manuscript of a book entitled عمدة الطالبين في بيان معاني المرشد المعين, composed by Muhammed bin Ahmed al-Aduzi al-Samlali al-Susi. In this book, he gave us a form of an image of Mecca in order to help us to practice the sha'air al-Hajj, and I will share with you some copies of this book. For example, this copy of the book, and another copy of the same book. After another copy, and the second way, mystically, I mean spiritually. For example, in a volume of Dhakhirat al-Muhtaj, he presented Mecca and all the awliya Allah as-salihin according to their outstanding traits are branching out from Mecca. For example, al-abdal, al-aqtab, ashab al-waqt, من قلبهم على رجل واحد من قلبهم على 700 رجل, etc. Another example, after this book, this image, this invented, of course, by Muhammad al-Sharqawi, taken from a volume of Dhakhirat al-Muhtaj. It is called al-Buhur al-Nabawiyya, or Buhur al-Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. the oceans of prophethood's ocean. The rectangle representing Prophet Muhammad on the top, and the originally Sufi pathways are branching from him. And on the bottom, you can see on the bottom, you may have seen the Sahib al-Waqt in the middle, and all the sub Sufi pathways branching out from Sahib al-Waqt. The most important is the third way, theologically. After Mecca al-Mukarramah in Al-Quran and in Al-Hadith is always represented as the symbol of the Wahdat al-Muslimin, is the symbol of the unification of Muslims, and also it is always represented as the symbol of Kalimat al-Tawheed, the symbol of the word of oneness of God. And these images show this meaning. As you see, Mecca in the middle, and Mecca in the middle is surrounded by the al-madahib al-arba'a, the four madahib: al-madhab al-Hanafi, al-madhab al-Maliki, al-madhab al-Shafi'i, al-madhab al-Hanbali, which can refer to, however, the madahib al-arba'a, al-madahib al-fiqhiyah are distinct. They are unified under one thing, which is Tawheed Allah. After another images representing this meaning, another images representing the same meaning. After that. Okay, now the last slide. Okay, no. Okay. It is a problem. Okay, no problem. The last slide. Okay. This slide represents Mecca surrounded by the name of prophets, the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and the name of the other prophets, the name of the families, prophets' family, and other awliya as-salihin, and also it has the same meaning I showed you. Finally, I have given just a few examples. There are many more codicological aspects in the area of ilm al-kalam that can be explored, that scholars and research can explore in their research, their scientific research. Thank you very much. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
وعليكم السلام ورحمة الله وبركاته. Jazakallahu khairan, Sheikh. Subhanallah, these photos really bring us up close to our great scholars and their work. And our Sheikh, subhanallah, it's like he is shaking hands with our great scholars of the past. Every day he's touching these manuscripts. What amazing work he's doing, subhanallah. So now we open the floor to your questions. We only have 10 minutes, so please make the question very short. Please come to the microphone if you have a question for Sheikh Khalid Zahri. If there is no question, maybe we would allow Sheikh to continue a bit more. Yes, it will be a missed opportunity to ask for anything, perhaps a future career in the area of code ecology or joining our Sheikh in Maghribi. But Sheikh, if you would like to add a few more words. Yes, Professor Basil.
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. I want to mention this. Perhaps we need to study the time when this was covered or done. Because it may happen that the Muslims in Iberia were fearing that such book will be lost, etc. And they put the figure of the cross and the church to preserve the book. Because some of the books at the time of Mutakallimun, for example, when Al-Qadir Billah prevented writing books on Kalam or discussing Kalam, they were actually, what they do, they strip it of the cover and they put another cover with different titles sometimes. Some of the Arabic Kalam books went to Europe without cover, and the European scholars read the content and took the content without referring to the... So it could be, I am not sure, of course, I am only suggesting that somebody should study the time when this cover, for example, he can make carbon dating, carbon dating for the cover to know when the cover was done or the whole book was done.
Okay. Okay.
So it's a kind of disguise.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay? Okay. Yes, yes. Concerning the first suggestion, the book, it's not a book of Ilm al-Kalam. It is a book of Usul al-Fiqh. So, I think, yes, of Usul al-Fiqh. That's the first thing. The second thing, the author, Abu al-Hussein al-Basri, was died in 436. That means that it is after al-Muqtadir Billah. And the third thing, that the book is written in Khat Mashriqi, Oriental script. That means that this book is taken from Al-Mashriq, not from Al-Andalus or from Al-Maghrib. Okay? Another question?
So, I mean, the same copy was taken from Al-Masjid.
This copy?
Yeah, this copy.
No, this copy, it is kept at Royal Library in Rabat. But the argument, the proof that it is an Oriental copy, that it was transcribed in Oriental script in بخط مكتوبة بخط مشرقي, because الخط المشرقي it was not used in Maghrib or in Andalusia Andalusia.
Alhamdulillah, we have another question. Doctor, can you introduce yourself?
Bismillah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. My name is Muhammad Mahudi, and I'm from the Kuala of Economics and Management Sciences. My question is, I'm referring to Munkit min al-Dalal. I'm referring to, first of all, my background of understanding comes from Munkit min al-Dalal. Munkit min al-Dalal, Ghazali identifies 4 different types of truth seekers. Among the 2 are actually Mutakallimun and the Sufis. I want to relate to your presentation. Now, when you mention all these pictorial presentations, you did mention the fact that the authors are Sufis themselves. Mm-hmm. My question is it of a particular character of those Sufis who are actually also mutakallimun, present their ideas in this way? Are they uniquely Sufi plus mutakallimun, or just anyone can write and present it in this way? Okay? The actual uniqueness of the character of the authors. Are they both mutakallimun and Sufis? So that's one. The other one is these pictorial presentations. As you know, when we try to present things, ghaibiyat, in pictorial images, there must be controversies. And thus, I wish to hear some controversies behind the pictorial images, and how do you defend that? Because that's Kalam, yeah, presents. Okay. And also defend the argument. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, that's our last question.
Yeah. Okay. Concerning the first question, I can confirm that in Al-Gharb Al-Islami, especially in Al-Maghrib, I mean Al-Maghrib Al-Kabir, all the fuqaha and all the Sufia are mutakallimin. It is very difficult to separate between mutakallim, Sufi, and faqih. This is first. The second, concerning the slides, the meaning of the slides, I have to show that it is only a trying, it is a suggestion. We can see a suggestion from these Sufis. إمكان داخل إمكانات as we say in Arabic, إمكان داخل إمكانات متعددة. It was a trying, and it is a point of view that we can agree with them, and also we cannot agree with them. But my mission here is to present some ijtihadat of these Sufia and also mutakallimin.
Okay, Sheikh, Jazakallah khairan for your answer and your presentation. We have benefit in spiritual ways and also in our aesthetic, pleasing way as well. So we end this session for coffee break. We would like to request everyone to stay to allow our scholars to make their way to the back. Usherers, please take your place. Thank you.
Thank you.
We will be back after 30 minutes, but please be prompt so that we can keep with the schedule today, a tight schedule.